Welcome back to another Re-Education Experience podcast with me, your host, Darren Langille. Today, I've brought on another amazing guest. This guest actually, I believe, has the highest level of production I've ever had on the show. So again, he's a guy I've been trying to get on a while, and it's kind of hard because he's a busy man. His name is DJ DellaSala from down in St-Augustine, Florida. So super cool area, super cool cat. He runs a team, independent brokerage, DJ and Lindsey Team. And his wife's not on with us here today, but DJ gets to be the star for the show. He has done it all. This man, he's also got this honor that very few agents probably will ever be able to have, and he's going to hold on to this one forever, I'm hoping. They're the real estate official agents to an NFL team. Now, that's wild in itself. Jacksonville Jaguars. He's got friends who also have those kind of similar relationships, I think, around the US, which is incredible. And it just speaks to the circle of influence he's a part of. So it's a huge honor to have him. He and I talked offline briefly, and I was looking online about their pace of sales. And I looked at one point, I saw 1,500 per year. Then I saw 2, then I saw 2,500. And then I think he's telling me now that they're on pace for 3,000 homes in the year, which is wild and crazy. So DJ, I know you're a busy man. You're a surfer, father, husband, entrepreneur, investor, business investor. So you've done it all, been there, done that. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Man, thanks for having me. Super excited to be a part of this.
Amazing. Can you give us a little run through about your organization? Your 85 agents, I think we talked about.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And they're all under the team model. Is that right?
Yeah. So we're an independent brokerage. We run it as a team model. We've rapidly grown in size over the last year in 2020. Just to back up a little bit, licensed in 2006, went through the turmoil of the Great Recession here in Florida, but then, pivoted and started working with some investors, had some success with that. And, moved to another brokerage, met Lindsay, and then I was still working with a lot of investors and had an opportunity to work for a bank-owned firm and do all of that, REO business. But I'm unorganized. Lindsay is, I'm like the thinker, and Lindsay is very organized. Approached her. She said yes. We moved on. But we're doing all the work as if we were, a broker owner. And I'm, because it was a California-based company, and, California has a ton of documentation and things you have to do, like a little bit above and beyond that we were used to. So we did that. And I was having friends ask me, hey, DJ, how do you get licensed? They saw that we had some success. And I was like, Lindsay, let's just go in. Let's do our own thing. Let's open up. Let's change the world. Let's be cool. Let's be hip. Let's market better. Let's, provide leads, because nobody else provides leads. But at the time, there wasn't really this whole team model. So we opened up as an independent, hired agents, gave out leads, realized they don't, follow up or aren't accountable. So went to a Tom Ferry event in 2015, learned about the team model and said, hey, we're going to do this. Back up a little bit more. Lindsay, like I said, is very organized, but also very detailed in operations. So 2015, we brought on Brittany, which is still with us. She's actually the broker of record for the team now, and my number one in the organization. Just phenomenal person. And so she was our first hire. Slowly built from there, kind of doubled in agent count, but also doubled in volume every year. So we went from like 32 million to 64 with 4 agents, to 12 agents, to 132, to 264, to 465, I think last year, now to $1 billion. And it was like, it's been a wild ride, been fun, but it's all been based on, true foundation of great building blocks through, great leadership and great people. And it's a wild ride.
Growing at that pace is, and relentlessly for what, a half decade, even more now, doubling. Like, I wish I would have bought the DJ and Lindsay stock, right? Like growing at that pace, but also finding time to figure out, like you said, setting the foundation. I know you said a lot changed in COVID, 2020, it rocked us all.
Right.
How did you guys pull that off, right? Crushing growth, which means obviously with agents and volumes in yourself, but also systemizing so well that it didn't just crumble. Like that's a feat in itself, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. So we were at like 38 agents last year in March, and it was going well. Life was good. Lindsay and I had just got married August before on Labor Day weekend. I mean, life was, was cruising along. I'd broken my leg 2 months after that, but I was like, you know what, it's just a little setback. March comes along. We're about to launch this big billboard branding campaign. 23 or 25 billboards were going up. Week later, COVID, world shuts down. Half the team leaves, and I'm like, all right, I believe so much. And then, every kind of every climate was different in the world, right? I mean, you had I know where you are, and different states, and it was very different. Nobody really knew what was going on, and Florida was just very different than many other places. And I said, hey, we've always bet on ourselves. When you talked about stocks, I was like, you know what? We have the foundation, we have everything we need, we have the leads, we've done it the right way. Just keep going. And we did. We kept hiring, we kept recruiting, we kept doing everything that we believed in. And fast forward, and it paid off big time. And I think without because you hear teams trying to get in all the time and starting things, but if we didn't have that foundation like rock solid the way we were, now it's just felt good and feels good now.
Now you mentioned that concept early when you were learning how to be a team leader, and it was like, let's throw leads at these guys, right? Let's throw leads. And of course, with 23 billboards, NFL team, sponsorship type thing, your pace and 85 agents. A lot of people would think, oh, he's just buying a whole bunch of leads, but there's so much more to the strength of a team. I would assume your retention's pretty strong as well, because I know how much you pour into your people. Can you talk about that a little bit, but also the layers in the organization? Like when I looked on your site, I was like, oh man, this guy's staffing more than most brokerages, like with thousands of agents. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's our goal. I mean, I believe, we're having our offsite tomorrow, and I believe my goal is to be my goal is to be the best team in the US, maybe best brokerage. And when I say that, I want to have the best training, I want to have the best marketing, I want the agents to walk into a system that they can just walk into, plug and play. Yeah, the leads are great, but the marketing for them is going to be top notch. The training, that they know what they're doing, what they're saying, because I do believe the customer in their biggest purchase deserves that. And, it's the barrier to entry right now is very, low to get into real estate. And I think we take for granted a lot of times when people get licensed of going through the true training that's needed to not make mistakes. And knock on wood, with all of the transactions and training and great transaction coordinators we have, we're able to avoid a lot of those unnecessary problems because of the leadership and the staff that we have in place, kind of making sure everybody has somebody on every step of the way. Because to me, our brand and what we do is what we have, and the goodwill of our company is going to continue to pace at the same pace of our growth. And it's been great. So yeah, we do have a lot more staff. So just, retention wise, if they make it through the first 2 weeks, they're here. When I say that, I think a lot of people come in and they're like, holy crap, this is a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of training. They don't know what they don't know. And they sign up for it. And if they get through, we have trainings almost every day. We have a book club that's run by agents for the agents that they kind of run themselves, which is really neat and says a lot about the culture that they want to do that on their own. And that's weekly in every office, led by a different agent. But we have transaction coordinators, we have a marketing department, we have an administrative department, accounting department. So it's a big organization, and pretty neat.
So once an agent comes in, you've got the brand, the process, the standards so figured out that an agent, I mean, there's it's a pretty tight railroad. They can just run down this thing, right? You've got the ditches figured out so that the quality of what a DJ and Lindsay experienced agent is pretty dialed up. And as a team leader, I think some people get scared to push their agents too far, or to say, you know what, don't give them their room to fly a little bit. But how have you been able to get them so dialed in, run the DJ and Lindsay kind of show, but not feel like they've lost their identity too as an agent that's out there building their own careers too?
Yeah, and I get that a lot too. And I kind of tie it back to any other brand that their name's in it. Keller Williams is two guys. Coldwell Banker, Berkshire Hathaway. These are all brands that were built, but everyone was able to build their identity underneath their brands. It just happens to be DJ and Lindsay now that they're under, and we're elevating their experience by making sure that we are putting them in the front, but by the leads that we're able to give to our agents and kind of feed and invest into their business, they're now able to instantly have this crazy sphere because in this town, there's a lot of licensed real estate agents and everybody knows everybody. And in my opinion of the networking and doing all of that things really makes it kind of, really hard. Can you make it? Absolutely. Is it harder? Yes. But if you have these leads and you do a really high level, they're going to refer you to their neighbor, their friends, their family. And we do a different tier split based on, whether it's a lead and then personal. So, once you're here a year, they get a great, they're at a 90% split and still get all of the marketing, all the transaction coordinating. So we developed this to make an agent long-term, be able to provide all the services. And through that, being on the other side, being an agent, I wanted to create the best agency for my team and to create it for the long term.
Cool. So you've got some tiers built in based on production, length, and then so that as they build themselves up and they're more in line with the experience, they can kind of slightly save, earn some money so they don't go fly the coop and they stay within the brand. They see the value. Oh, I love that concept. I mean, I'm sure a lot of agents don't like to do that. A lot of team leaders stay pretty hard and steadfast to that, say, original deal, and they never want to let it go. But it sounds like you're of a different mind.
Yeah, I was on that mindset for a long time, and it probably lost some great agents because of that, and learned that, hey, we're the collaboration of a great community with great agents that have the experience, and just by that, it's great. Plus, if we develop them and turn them into amazing agents, like I want to work side by side with them. I want to help them grow. I mean, we become pretty friendly. We know each other. We know their families. So if we can help and do deals together, not only within real estate, but to help them invest and buy homes and buy properties. So that's our next endeavor, is kind of just helping people learn how to invest in real estate, because there's more, once they're doing well and understanding that, our investment side, Lindsay and I have flipped probably close to 50 houses. We own, I think, I don't even know, 7 Airbnbs right now. So we're being able to lead and show them how to do this from, our missteps, because there's a lot of different ways to make money in real estate.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I knew about your personal journey through investing and stuff. And I kind of figured that was part of the team. That is, like, you're right. You need to build a foundation. You need to be able to put food on the table every month, every week. But I love the fact that you're reinvesting both to the building wealth side of kind of, we're like insider trading, right? As realtors, and so many of them forget it and they just let it be. What are some of the tips do you think get those zero agents coming in green or from somewhere else? And within 3 months, like I saw a quote on one of your agents' testimonials saying, if you've got 3 deals pending at most teams, you're like a rock star. And at DJ and Lindsay, it's like, are you even waking up? Like, I loved it.
Scott, that one, it was so funny.
Yeah. So like, what is some of the keys to success you find early for these guys to just, the switch flicks and it's finally, they're playing in like these top.
Sorry, I think I froze up a little bit, but I'm back. I find a lot of people that are that are coachable, that are willing to listen, that are willing to just forget everything and just say, hey, I'm going to absorb everything. I'm going to trust the process. I found athletes have been just tremendous because they've been coached. I'm the same way. If a coach tells me to do something, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it the next day. I've always been that way. I played basketball my whole life, and I always had that mindset that I'm going to listen to people that have already done this. That's the shortcut. And we try to really teach that in the onboarding process. And like I said, the community here, we work out of the office 5 days a week. Everybody, kind of comes in that is on the lead shifts and doing all of the things together. that community kind of helps boost them up, because, you know, it shows that level of seniority to our experienced agents to be able to give back to non-experienced agents. And now they're writing deals within the first 2 weeks because of that, and because of the leadership. And it's really neat to see, but really the willingness to learn and eagerness to be disciplined and just follow the process and trust the process.
Totally. I wrote a quick email out in one of my I have an e-series I put out just for agents, and that's just the execution mindset, right? Just to take an action, even though it's not the biggest action. And I love it. Tell me, Inc. 5000, like that's ridiculous. Like hitting that, you know, you don't see real estate brokerages or teams unless they're like mega brands. You don't see them on that list, Austin. You guys hit like 1,000 and something of 5,000. I mean, tell me what that felt like.
You know, it's always been a big goal of mine to make that list. There's all these like awards and different things but like you said, when you look at some of the Florida companies that made that list, like, there's Natalie's Orange Juice, it's a brand here that's really phenomenal, and it's Home Depot. And I was like, man, if my brand could ever make that list, I knew we would do something bigger than real estate right now. And one of the greatest accomplishments we've done yet this far. And my goal is just to keep climbing. But the bigger thing is the people that we have. And I can't say that enough, that Lindsay and I couldn't do this alone. It's great people believing in this great journey and great experience that we're trying to provide, that I do believe that it's bigger than real estate, that it's a customer service like driven organization. And no matter what, and that's why I wanted to be out of the real estate, not out of the real estate, awards, segment. I just really wanted to see if I could compete with these other companies, and it was neat to make it.
I love that. How much prior to that did you set the goal of that? Like when did that become a goal that you wanted to hit?
So I joined the Tom Ferry organization in 2015, and I'd seen a few of the rock stars make that list, and I was like, man, I want to do that one day. And I started really digging into it and looking, and I read a lot of articles and books, and it's always kind of popped up on there. And so I think in 2016, I really did it, 2017, 2018. And I kept, building up, and finally when we submitted and made it last year, I was like, wow, we got some crazy revenue, and
we're not doing so bad. Yeah.
This year, climb that ranking a little bit, because I think,
totally.
I think we're going to.
So you've done some stuff that most agents will never do, which is like jump into the billboard game, the radio game. Like, I mean, that must have been scary. I know behind the scenes, and again, some of the conversations we've had, that was a big move. Whether it was you had the cash flow all of a sudden to pull that off, or like what made you finally, and this would be for the littlest guy investing in their next set of whatever, or a guy like you going to the top. How did you get over that hump to be like, it's time to just do it? 23 billboards, like that's not a small ask.
Yeah, I think we have 50 billboards now. That was my first buy. I think we've doubled up now. Now we're TV. We're trying to, here's what I knew. I knew that it's been this like pet peeve of mine that I see on the MLS sometimes that, there might be 100 new listings, call it, in a day in Jacksonville. And I just wanted those at bats because like I said, the marketing, my media team, my photography, my everything that they work tirelessly for. I know that we could, provide the best experience for them, and we weren't getting those at bats. And I knew buying leads or doing this, or, just focusing on that, we needed to do something bigger. We needed to be a brand. We needed to solidify ourselves in the community. And we did the 23 in St-Augustine, and then I saw it work. It was, I see you everywhere. I do this, and we started getting more opportunity, and helps people understand that you are a real estate brand in the community that, is the force to be reckoned with. Then we did it in Jacksonville, and the same thing. It's just been phenomenal, and it opened up the doors for the Jacksonville Jaguars and different things that I really believe is going to continue to catapult us to the next level of being the brand of North Florida. And that's my goal. it's
It's kind
working.
of like this. The whole thing is like, if you want to stay where you're at, we'll just keep doing what you're doing, right? If you
Right.
want to go something larger, you got that bigger goal, well, you're going to have to change something and risk something. I love
Mhm.
that because I know that that wasn't a small decision. And the at bats conversation, I think that's a huge takeaway for most people listening is, do you have enough of them, right?
Yeah.
Based on your goals, are you having enough? And most agents would look back on their given week and be like, hell no, I'm not even close. And I tricked myself to thinking I'm busy, but I'm not at bat nearly as much as I should be. Love it. What you guys got big into video recently, right? I mean, I know you took the studio on, you went in and you're doing, tell me the layers for which you like video marketing now. You know, of course there's property videos, right? That's, you know, we've all been doing that, but like you guys are going deeper and you're showing a bit of the story. I'd love to hear your take on it.
Yeah. So, my dream when we built out, I wanted to have this amazing studio. We film podcasts in there. We're doing all of the agent photography. An agent to be able to jump in there and do video, but I see where things are going in. I'm trying to find this quote I sent out yesterday, but the YouTube, I know everything's going to YouTube. I know the millennial generation, that's going to be our next wave of buyers, is going to be crazy. I know that there's just a lot of opportunity. I read yesterday, TikTok has over 130 million active users in the United States and a rapid growth of the 30 to 50 plus, which are, kind of our, prime real estate prospects. And I think, being able to do that in the reels and kind of see the trends of where social and video are going, I just want to continue to stay in front of that and continue to innovate.
Because you guys are doing that as a brokerage, but you must be coaching your agent body to be doing that. And you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, some people say it's too early or it's too late. And it's like, no, you're just using excuses and you're just not getting going.
Yeah.
Right.
And for you agents out, if you're listening to this, you don't need this. I mean, the studio is great and we happen to have that, but some of our best productions and things have just been filmed on a phone, just, out in front of a restaurant, giving back to small businesses. We're doing that a ton this month and just trying to give back and be the person that they can go to for information in the community, because that's who we are.
Fair enough. Now, I know we're short on time. Your big thing with leverage. What is the things that you think an agent should be doing every day versus what you should outsource? Even if you guys have outsourced a lot of it to your staff, so your agents can be good at doing what they do best. So what do you find are the key things an agent does and should be, focused on versus hiring an admin, a virtual, or hopefully your
Yeah.
brokerage can do it?
Yeah, I see it all the time. People want their conversations to be had and they want this like appointment set for them. And it's like, wait, so you want to go on I think Kyle Whistle says this all the time. Like, you want the appointment set for you want somebody to go on the appointment, you want the transaction coordinator to close it for you. But this is a 1v1 business, meaning that the first initial contact, Darren, is in my opinion, the most important. And I think the agent should be taking that because they're the ones that know the market, that know what's for sale, knows how quick things are moving in certain neighborhoods. And I think if you're outsourcing that person doesn't have, definitely doesn't have boots in the ground. They're not in the community. They're not negotiating offers. They haven't lost, an inspection on a condo that, might be, a little bit older. So I find that first initial contact to be very important, and then them working through and then being able to pass that off to a licensed transaction coordinator is what we do. And they kind of handle the paperwork and the inspection reports. And my agents are definitely on every touch point. But I think that I think people try to outsource the initial contact too often.
I couldn't agree more. I tried it all. I tried virtual. I tried local hire. I told guys in industry, out of industry, and we always had the best conversion running our team when the agents got on it. And it's actually them that after they outsourced it for a bit and they realized, maybe I'm not getting those conversations that I'm supposed to. They wanted it back.
Yeah.
And I love that you say that. So, and then the transaction coordinator in your guys' world, they're the ones that just once you're in contract, that they would manage through some of the paperwork. Is that right?
Yeah. So like, they'll do addendums and negotiate the repairs and then make sure all the timelines of the contract are met. So the agent can truly scale themselves. And I say this all the time, this organization, and that, that video is funny with only having 3 pending. We're meant to sell 5, 7 homes, a month. because that's where the true skill happens. And, I have people joining the team that, in their first year selling 25 to 30 homes, going back to now look at their sphere of people, that's 30 people. They just got basically 3 or 4 years. I know. And when I first got in, it took me 3 or 4 years to sell 30 houses. They're getting that experience all in 1 year and growing their sphere. So it's my opinion, it's been just tremendous growth and helpfulness to the agents.
Amazing. So what's next for you guys as we wrap up? You guys are on pace for about 3,000 homes, which is just amazing. You're in 3 locations, right? 85 agents.
Yep.
Paint me the picture of what happens by the end of 2022. Where are you guys taking this?
2022, I'm looking at, $1.4 billion in sales. I want to do it, 35 to 4,000 transactions is going to be the goal. I think we can definitely, when you get this size, it's hard to, your goals, you can't, the double mark's not really there anymore. But agent count, I truly believe, like I'm saying, with the customer deserves, I want the at-bats with the agents in the community, because the ambition to get licensed and do all of these things is there for so many people. It truly kind of makes me sad that they'll get in the business, maybe choose the wrong brokerage or get bad advice, and then, burn through their savings, because we are a commission-based, industry, then get out of the business. There's an 87% fail rate. So, truly, if we could double agent count to 200 to 250 next year, I want to help as many people in our communities as possible once they're licensed to stay in the business and understand that it is hard, but we're going to be here for them. And I want that, to be the next evolution, is just the agent count and the agents we're able to support, because then we get to hire more support staff. And it's just a domino effect of great people and better community and great, it's great to be around.
Oh, I love that, man. It's like I follow a few guys who are out there building influence, and they speak about being able to charge maybe a premium service. And they do that because they have an offer that's so strong, right? Right. So if you got a value that's so good to agents, keeping them in the business, fighting off that 87% failure rate, you as the business owner, with the heart that I know you have more capital to throw back in to the business to build and influence more people on the ground. So I love that concept that you're doing that. Knowing your trajectory, how much you guys execute, it's incredible to watch. And I can't wait to see you pull those things off. Any last words before you got to go? Maybe you got to hit the waves. I'm not sure, but
I just got back from a surf trip in Puerto Rico, getting back to it. It was great. Took my son over there for the weekend. No, I'm just very honored to be on here. You've always been a great person to mastermind with, and it's a true honor to be on the show with you. And I really appreciate you having me.
Awesome, man. So the best place to find you guys, follow the journey, is it Instagram where you're the strongest, or is it YouTube?
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, DJ and Lindsay. It's LINDSCY. Just follow us on there and just watch the magic that the marketing team does, because they're taking it up a notch too, and it's going to be exciting to see what they do next year.
Yeah, it's already relentless when you do watch it. I was finding myself scrolling like, damn, he's doing this and he's doing that and he's doing this, and they're dialed in, and I was just super impressed. So thanks, buddy, for having the time spending it with me. You go keep crushing it, finish out the year strong. That's what I'm trying to coach everybody to do, right? That it's separation season. So I'll let you be. This has been another episode of the Re-Education Experience podcast. I can't wait to chat with you next time.
Yeah, thank you.